can't take it anymore, not anymore. No one said that this would get easy. No one said this wouldn't get hard. Brush it off and roll up your sleeves now. It's a shot in the dark till you get what you want.
Welcome on back to Spiked College Football Season 5, Episode 15 or 16. I don't know. Our priest is housing high noons in a freedom funnel out of an eagle's ass right now, and I just can't really tell you what else to say about that. Our buddy Tyler finally got his dream job. He landed it, nailed it. Now we can do things for real because Tyler has a set schedule, which is
bitches.
I mean, and more importantly, out of everything, he's going to fall over. More importantly, Juan Soto is a New York Met. That's all that everybody cares about right now.
I congratulated you upon
that. You have a fucking Rangers hat on, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know why I have this hat on because they're fucking atrocious right now. But listen,
lost to my Oilers.
Let's talk college ball, guys. We haven't been on in a couple weeks. Been crazy around the holidays, and we've got to get back on track here. Football has been going nuts. Last week was nuts.
I only logged on because I wanted to support TA, but apparently he doesn't need any support. He's got the support of America and whatever the fuck that handle.
America, Pink Whitney, and High Noon.
Oh yeah, High Noon, but whatever that fucking liquor that he's going to drink afterwards.
It's Pink Whitney. FreedomFunnel.com for all your Freedom Funnel.
We're just doing free ads now, so we don't even care. We're just it's just gonna go off the rails.
All fucks are given today.
So it's not even me now. It's not even me. It's just
Yep, there it is. Okay, well, I don't want to talk about anything related to the University of Miami at all.
Oh, Rob, we gotta talk about who got in, who didn't get in. We'll talk about what happened in the games last week first. Where'd he go?
He disappeared. Oh,
did he really run away?
No.
He's corralling this cat.
It's this motherfucker scratching at the door.
Well, let's talk real quick about the games last week. We got to go through them.
Yeah.
That Clemson SMU game, what a great comeback from SMU. Decent game. Are those teams any good? We don't really know. We don't know. Probably.
I got to root for them. I have to root for them. I think that they'll put up a fight, but do I think either of those teams are true contenders? Absolutely not. So there's that.
And then in the Big 12, biggest blowout, 45-10 or whatever the fuck that was with Arizona State.
Arizona State is definitely playing like.
Is Arizona State good, or is the Big 12 just really that bad? I don't know.
I'm personally hoping that the ACC fares better than the Big 12, just because then we could say that we're not the worst conference. But honestly, we probably are, and Arizona State is for real. I would love to see that too.
Tyler, bring that college football bracket up. Everybody knows about the games. The Mountain West was a closer game score-wise, but it was a blowout. The Texas-Georgia game, great game, overtime, fantastic. You know, the big question is Beck hurt, and does that even hurt Georgia?
It does not hurt Georgia
at all.
I think their backup is like way better than Beck.
But
he didn't play better, but yeah.
We have to talk about this bracket and how Penn State just keeps losing and winning at the same. They just keep losing. They're failing upwards, and they just keep getting. They get SMU and then Boise State after losing again. They haven't won a game all year against anybody worth a damn.
Yep.
And again, they get.
And they're going to squeak out wins against both those teams.
It's crazy.
It is really frustrating for someone rooting for a team that we're not going to talk about who barely missed the college football playoff. But honestly,
how is it fair that they get SMU, Boise State, and a team that beat them pretty handily has to play either Ohio State or Tennessee, two of the teams that could probably make a run. They had to play them in the first round, or their first round.
Well, what's really crazier to me is the way that they set up the Ohio State-Oregon rematch. Why would you do that rematch as the essentially first full round? It makes no sense to me.
What makes no sense is I didn't agree with this at first. I think that reseeding needs to happen. You get the 12 teams in, and then you seed those teams. You rank those teams. You get the 12 in, and then you rank them.
Yeah,
Because
that's what should happen.
New State shouldn't have a bye. Arizona State shouldn't have a bye. At all.
Right. And so then they should play the toughest team.
The bye should be Oregon, Georgia.
So that's the thing. I don't mind the buys, but I think reseeding has to happen because
you
I get
Penn State the two cupcakes. They're cupcakes. Let's call it like it is. Let's not sugarcoat it. They're cupcakes. Now, could they pull off a miraculous? Yes. But if you play 99 times out of 100, they're cupcakes. It's not fair.
Well, Penn State could be going on to play Arizona State, and in a lot of ways, I think that's an even easier game.
See, is it though? Because Arizona State has shown a really good running game. Tyler, take over. Let's do it. Who's winning between Tennessee and Ohio State?
I don't know. I think Ohio State and Ryan Day are pissed. So I think they pull it off. But this is the coin flip in my mind.
This could be a Ohio State fuck you revenge tour, and they just blow everybody out, everybody.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or they could be dead dogs lying.
But
I don't think Will Howard's the guy. I think for a revenge tour to happen, you need a much more sure thing at quarterback. I don't think Will Howard's bad. I don't think he's the one who masterminds
Will Howard and thought that was an upgrade. He lost his job at Kansas State.
I know. But like I said, I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but he's not the mastermind of a fuck you tour.
Yeah. I think so we'll do this, guys. We'll pick all the games. We'll do 2 out of 3. The team will move on. That'll be our bracket.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Tennessee here, and I don't really like it.
I don't like I said, it's a coin flip for me because I can see Ryan Day and Ohio State being pissed off, and Nico just playing underneath himself. So it's like this is the only game that I think is a coin flip. The other ones I think are pretty cut and dry.
When you said Ryan Day, I just kind of went, nah, I don't want to pick Ohio State. I think that this will be a defensive struggle. It'll be like 6-3.
This game has 13-10 written all over it.
Exactly.
What? That's bullshit. That 13-10 game is going to be in the fucking playoff. Bullshit. We need points. Sorry.
Well,
so my vote,
my official vote,
you guys can talk it out. My official vote is going to be Tennessee.
I want to pick Ohio State to make Tyler pick the coin flip, but I also don't want to pick Ohio State because I don't really trust Ryan Day either.
I don't. Okay.
You know what? I'll do Ohio State only because I kind of trust Nico less in this high pressure situation, not because I think he's bad,
and I think
they're just not going to let him loose.
And I think you could be absolutely right, which is scaring me. Like I don't know.
I think it's because they don't let Nico loose, and I get why, because he's a true freshman, but also you picked a true freshman to start. So what are we doing? So anyway, I'm going to pick Ohio State.
Also, if Ryan Day loses this game, he's fired. So like maybe I want to pick Ohio State. Maybe I think I'm going to pick Ohio State. I'm picking Ohio State.
No, see, now I'm going to pick Tennessee because I want Ryan Day fired. We're putting this on TA. We're putting this on TA. You can't say coin flip. He has to fucking think something.
Tennessee. I'm going with Nico and Josh Heupel.
Right. Tennessee moves on for us. I wish we could have a graphic thing, but we can't. God damn it.
Soon. He's got that fuck you money now, so
we'll fucking figure it out.
Let's move down to the bottom, guys. Clemson, Texas. I tell you what, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things I've been listening to and I've been agreeing with. there's just something wrong with Texas. And what's wrong with Texas is their quarterback play. And not just that. I don't even know if it's all on yours. It's their play calling. I don't think it has anything to do with their line, their running backs, it's their quarterback and the play calling. And you know what? I don't really think I can trust Stark. And I know you guys don't like him, and he's a fucking caricature of himself, and blah, 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 and it's on the road. Dabo wins big games. Yeah, he almost lost one last week, but you know what? He won. Because Dabo wins big games. And you know what? I'm taking Clemson.
Texas. I want Clemson to win. I don't actually want Clemson to win, but for my ACC pride, I would like nothing more than for Clemson to beat Texas. But
there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong.
I know there's something wrong with them. I understand that. Dabo wins big games despite himself. He's been doing it since I watched him.
Yours and Sarkisian, that lines up so.
I know what you're saying. I'm gonna pick Texas once again to put TA in a bind, but also because
why?
I can't.
Room for your ACC because Quinn Ewers is kind of garbage in the red zone, yo.
They can't score. They can't score touchdowns.
They can't score touchdowns.
So it's like I really want to pick fucking Clemson here.
And Clemson has explosive plays. They can't sustain drives, but they can score explosives.
Like Quinn Ewers in the fucking red zone is a 5-alarm fire of problems, Joe.
Well, it's funny.
It's like he just gets worse in the red zone.
So we're gonna look at another 13-10 game, but instead there's gonna be like 4 explosive plays, probably 2 by each offense. So it'll be like what? What does that make that? 27, 24?
The problem with Texas is their explosive plays, they always get caught. When Clemson has explosive play, they score touchdowns. That's the problem. Unless Texas is scoring 70-yard touchdowns, which they don't do. They get like 50-yard plays down to the 20, and then they stall. And then they go for it, and then they don't get it. Unfortunately.
Like I said, you're not. Quinn Ewers is a problem.
Yeah, he really is.
But Arch isn't the solution.
I think he is. I think he is because he can run the ball.
Because he can run. Yeah.
Yep. But I don't think they're going to go to him because Sark has too much. He has too much loyalty to him. So I'm taking Clemson. Tyler, it's down to you. Got 1-1.
I gotta go Clemson here, dude. Like when I got off of work over the weekend. And I rewatched the SEC championship game. I was kind of appalled at Quinn in the red zone, yo.
It's like that versus it was like that versus Georgia, both times.
At least Clay Klubnik can march the ball down the field in a very timely manner. So I'm going Clemson here.
But what defenses have they done that against? I don't even know why I'm arguing against this. I do want Clemson to win, but I don't want
They did it against SMU. They did it against Louisville. They did it.
I'm throwing your ACC team a bit here, Rob.
I know. I don't know why I'm trying to convince you.
They lost to Georgia Tech, but they did it against Georgia Tech. Like, Clemson is explosive. They have explosive.
They do. I agree with the explosive plays. I'm talking more you can march it down the field against a mediocre defense, but whatever. I don't disagree. I just
We have Tennessee going on and Tennessee and Clemson going on. A lot of orange, guys. I don't know if you realize this. A lot of orange.
The orange aspect of this either. So,
well, I mean, okay, Clemson or Texas were going to be orange regardless. So
I'm just saying Tennessee, Boise State. I mean, there's a lot of orange.
All right, let's go.
Not any green.
Let's go on to the other side of the bracket. That'll give Johnny B a hard on. In-state rivalry versus Notre Dame. Who we got?
I mean, listen, guys. Little brother's cute. They had a cute little story, cute little wins against. Wait, what was their best? Michigan State.
Texas A&M.
Was Michigan State their best win for Indiana? Was it Michigan
Oh,
State?
yeah, it was Michigan State. Yeah, it was.
Or was that Nebraska? No offense, Tyler.
Maybe Michigan.
49
State
game, man.
I guess that's their. But listen, guys, everyone keeps saying Notre Dame hasn't beaten anybody. They lost to NIU, and I get that. Like, I understand that.
You understand that more than anybody.
They won in double digits on their first game on the SEC, and then they had a letdown game. That's the biggest letdown spot ever. We knew that was going to happen. They've blown everybody else. They've double-digited everybody else, including Army, who was ranked, Georgia Tech, who just drove Georgia to the 8th overtime.
You gotta realize that
I was hedging all year long, guys. I was playing mental mind games in my head because I knew this team was really, really good, and I kept saying they're very, very good. They're going to, and I'm very honest with them. They're going to kill Indiana, kill them. Because what does Indiana do? They throw the ball. They're not going to be able to throw the ball versus our DBs and our fucking pass rush. Not going to happen. They have no running game. And Kirk Cignetti is so high and mighty on him. We're going to run the ball. What did Michigan do against Indiana? They ran the ball down their fucking throats. We are a better team than Michigan. We're going to run the ball. Jeremiah Love is going to just
award-winning Jeremiah Love.
That's my thoughts on the game.
So it's very simple for me. Johnny, don't get married and during this weekend, and Notre Dame will win.
If Notre Dame wins a national championship and the only game he lost was my wedding, I'm gonna fucking kill her. I love her, but I'm gonna fucking kill her.
I'm gonna play fucking heels because I've been very pro Notre Dame the whole season to play heel against his antagonistic ass not being a pro Notre Dame. So I'm gonna go Indiana.
Rob, do the right thing.
Oh no, you're not getting married this weekend, so we're going with Notre Dame.
But do you agree with my analysis? Like, they've been blowing everybody out. Even USC, a decent team,
not a decent team. They did not. Yeah, it's not a decent team.
But it's our rival, and we handling your rival at their place, even if they're not. That is just Georgia couldn't do it against Tech. You know what I mean? Like, you just.
What do you know? You're talking bullshit because this is under touchdown Jesus. This isn't at your.
No. I'm saying like when they handled USC, I know USC is not a good team, but it was in USC. It doesn't matter. They've been handling teams like they're little bitches. Like I've never seen this before from Notre Dame.
So I think that they should beat Indiana, which means they probably will. I'll be interested to see what they do against Georgia.
We'll talk about that upcoming. So we're going to have Notre Dame move on.
I do think that's
SMU,
reasonable.
Penn State. I'm picking SMU because I don't like Penn State. All they do
is throw me in that fucking camp.
All they do is throw the ball to fucking the wrongful Mackey Award winner because the kid from fucking Bowling Green should have won. Not the kid from Penn State. The kid from Bowling Green, I forgot his name, Hinchin or something.
And if
he led tight ends in catches, receiving yards.
You can tell the fucking voters for that shit didn't watch the Bowling Green Penn State game because his ass dominated.
They don't watch it for me. I'm telling you right now, the Bowling Green kid was better. All they have to do is take 44 out of the passing game and stop the run. Aller is not a good quarterback.
No, I've been saying he's been 0.5 of a fucking quarterback. Oh, goddamn.
But the thing is, I'm going to have to pick Penn State here. I don't want to. But I have to pick them because SMU doesn't have a defense. And they're going to have to outscore them. And I don't.
But Penn State doesn't fucking answer the call. They don't get off the bus and fucking play fucking 4 quarters of football.
You know what, Rob, you make your pick. You make your pick, and then we'll see who are you picking.
They wake up in the fucking second half, and I'm thinking SMU's not going to fucking let that happen.
I love this new. I love Tyler as the talent.
It's pretty
So
awesome.
it's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go with my heart and say SMU, but I'm also going to use a little bit of the head, which is as much as they don't have the same level of talent as Penn State, SMU didn't have the same level of talent against Clemson, but they made it a game. And I think that Rhett Lashley is a good enough coach that he's going to plan around taking out Warren from the game plan.
And I think the 12 o'clock kickoff
It's gonna fuck it up.
kind of helps out SMU.
I agree. But it's really that I think Lashley is not stupid. And this is honestly not something I could say about a lot of coaches. That he's like, he knows what the assignment is, and they have to figure out a way to take Warren out of the game or out of the game plan. And I think that he's going to have his defense ready to do that and that alone. And that probably is good enough because
You
Penn
can't
State
trust
truly
James.
is that one dimensional.
You know what? Tyler's absolutely right. I love drunk Tyler because I'm trying to pick up my head here, go with Penn State, but SMU or Penn State, they don't get off the bus during big games. Like they might be in a big game, they might be close, like they were close against Ohio State or they were close against Oregon, which they weren't. It just looked close. They don't win big games. And
Here's another
I think you're right. I think I'm taking SMU.
Here's another thing you should consider. SMU puts together 4 quarters of quality ass football, man. Like
They have been doing it all year.
they've been doing it all year, yeah. Like I'm taking SMU, and like quite frankly, they're my Cinderella, and I'm gonna ride them.
All right, let's go to the top left bracket again. We got number 9 Tennessee, and what is this? The Rose Bowl
It would be the Rose Bowl against Oregon. Yeah.
against Oregon. Who do you guys got?
Oregon.
Oregon, hands down.
I got Oregon too. I like Tennessee. Good story, but
Yeah, I definitely don't think Nico shows up in Autzen.
No,
it's not. It's at the Rose Bowl.
I'm
it's
sorry, not Autzen, but it's home. It's home field for Oregon. I know Tennessee travels well, but this is not a home game for anybody but Oregon.
It's like, congratulations, Josh Heupel, you get to this point, but Dan Lanning's going to kick your doors in, dude.
Yeah, I think Oregon wins that game. I think it comes down to like Nico turning the ball over against Oregon, just trying to keep up because this will be a try to play keep up game, and I think they win by like 13, something like that, 17, 13, 7. I think the spread will probably be like 13.5.
I'd say 10. I'd say 10, but I think I don't think it's close at the end.
So we got Oregon going to the semis. Now we'll go down to the bottom half. Arizona State versus Clemson in the. Would that be that's not the Fiesta Bowl. That would be the.
Yes, it is the Fiesta Bowl.
It's not Boise State.
No, they play in. Let me double check that.
I'm pretty sure
I have
Arizona State.
it right here. So the for Arizona State is in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Sugar Bowl.
Chick-fil-A. It's the
Sugar
Peach Bowl.
is
Oh,
what it
Peach
is.
Bowl. Peach Bowl. Peach
Oh,
Bowl.
The
yeah.
Peach Bowl.
All right, so it'll be the Peach Bowl. So that's a home game for Clemson, guys.
Uh-huh. In Atlanta.
And as much as I love Scatabo, they're playing a freshman quarterback against Dabo. And I'm gonna have to, I don't want to do this because I love Cam Scatabo, and I hope I'm very wrong. And I think Dillingham is going to turn Arizona State into a perennial. I don't think he's ever going to leave. I think they're going to be a perennial Big 12 winner.
They're working. Arizona State's working on hammering out a lifetime contract.
I'm pretty sure that he's going to be in the playoff at least once every other year, making a deep run once every couple of years. And I think I love what they're doing, but I have to pick Clemson here. The quarterback's too young, and they lost their receiver. Tyson's out for the playoff, so I'm going to go with Clemson.
Yeah. Well, again, all the same reasons we had for them pulling off a giant victory against Texas. This is the game that Dabo shouldn't win, but somehow does. So it's not any different in a lot of ways.
Does Clemson figure out the Arizona State offense? That's what's the $1 million question.
And I think they do because freshman quarterback, best receiver out. All they're gonna do is stop Scatabo, and if they can stop Scatabo, their whole offense shuts down. And I believe that Dabo can scheme up for that defense.
We're giving Dabo fuckloads of credit here.
You want to know why, Tyler? Because I know as much as we hate on him, he wins big games. Like that's just what he does. That's just what he does.
So
Dabo's down year is a year that you would be sucking dick to have Nebraska have. His down year. You know, that's what I'm saying. And Rob would with Miami, and I would normally with Notre Dame too. Like his down years are our best years.
It's sad that Clemson's having a fucking down year, but they're failing upwards just as much as Penn State had in the Big Ten.
All right, let's go to the Notre Dame Georgia game. You guys take it away because you know how I'm going to be.
So, Rob, do we bank on the fact that Carson Beck is completely out of it? And
I hope, honestly, no, fuck, I'm taking over. Fuck you guys. I hope Carson Beck plays in this game. You want to know why?
Because he's not good.
He does just turn the ball over.
Yeah,
have you guys watched how good our defense is? We're more physical than Georgia. We are more physical. Georgia Tech ran our offense against Georgia without our linemen, without our skill position players, and dominated them up and down the field. And you want to know what we beat Georgia Tech by? We beat Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech by 30 fucking points. I think we bully them.
The $1 million question here is if Notre Dame's elite secondary shows up here, like they did against Texas.
And you know what?
If they show up, this is Notre Dame all day.
I think it's Notre Dame. I think it's Notre Dame big.
Yeah.
I think it's Notre Dame like alt line 17, and I think that's crazy. And I think people would call me a big homer on that, but Notre Dame Georgia Tech literally ran Notre Dame's offense against Georgia and bully balled them. And we have a better defense. We won't allow them back in the game.
But it's Georgia, though.
So I'm more concerned about the fact that Georgia, and now this is maybe a little outdated, but they're going to make Leonard throw the ball. That's the only concern. That's what they're going to force to happen because they have the defense to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, do you think that Leonard will step up?
If you watch the last 5 games.
No, I know, but I'm saying good, but he needs to do that against Georgia. Do you think he can do that against Georgia?
I think he might throw a pick, but I don't, Rob. I don't think. No, you want to know why? Because their offense, they're not going to let him. They're going to run the ball down their throat, dude.
I understand. I'm saying that.
Are you telling me that he has to make the same kind of throws that Haynes King made against Georgia? Because those throws were not hard, and I think he could do that all day.
Okay.
All day. All he has to do is 5-yard outs, slants, once in a while go up top on a play action. Because Georgia wasn't stopping their run. They literally run the same offense. It's just motion one way, come back the other, motion that way, go with it. It's not – they just could not stop the quarterback and motion.
I mean, neither could Miami, so, it's a thing. But
right, and I think we would bully Miami. Like, I think we bully ball them, man. After watching that Georgia Tech game, I'm like, I was begging for Georgia. I was begging for them. Just my opinion. I might be very homer here. And you know how I usually go against Notre Dame in big games, Rob? Notre Dame big games, I'm usually like, no, I'm usually like, they're going to lose. Like, they're going to lose. But not this year.
What I'm saying is that when we were talking about Indiana, it's just that they're outmatched, right? That they just don't have the talent.
Right.
Georgia has the talent. Doesn't mean that they won't get bully-balled, but they have the talent to stand up. So it's
Georgia
more
does
of
have the talent, but there's just
they
Georgia.
haven't been doing it. I get it. They haven't been doing it all season. I agree. It's just I'm more worried that Kirby Smart has been trying to play it close to the vest the whole season.
I
Well,
see.
you know, he was playing 11th grade chess when he said he still hasn't disclosed what fucking Carson Beck's injury is.
And you want to know what? Maybe if Carson Beck isn't playing and they start that kid, it might be even worse for him. You know, like I think against Notre Dame, Beck's going to throw 2 picks. Now that kid could go have the best game of all time, like DJ did against Notre Dame a couple of years ago, and throw 5 touchdowns on pick. He could do that, or he could be like every other freshman and probably throw 4 interceptions against Notre Dame, fumble the ball once, and we win 17-7. You know what I mean?
I think that's more likely that it's a close, it's like a low scoring game. That's what I'm expecting.
But I like Notre Dame, and they're more physical.
Yeah, for sure. In a low scoring game, I think Notre Dame is the team.
And I know Kirby can draw up something to beat that. But if you watch that Georgia Tech game, dude, there was just something about they literally run. They were just. It wasn't like hard to like comprehend. They just couldn't do it. Like Georgia, they were getting blown off the ball by 5 yards.
Miami couldn't do it either.
The Georgia players were right there. They were there, but they were 5 yards down the field because they were getting blown off the ball.
Right.
All right. Notre Dame moves on.
Yeah, sadly. But
Guys, best matchup maybe? Battle of the Ponies.
it's gonna be such a good fucking game if we get to this point, dude. Because it's like, okay,
Tyler, take it away. This is your game. This is Tyler's game.
SMU is gonna put together 4 quarters of good football, but they gotta try and stop a Malachi Nelson less at Boise State with Ashton Genty. But I see SMU moving on.
Do you?
I do.
Wow.
All right, just so Rob can get in the mix here and have a deciding vote. I'll take Boise State, just so Rob can make a definitive point here. I'll take Boise State. I don't really like them. Maybe to punch them in the mouth. They play good defense, and if they can run the ball, they have a chance of taking the ball out of the air against SMU and shortening the game.
So
this is a battle of styles here.
it is a battle of styles for sure. I'm gonna tell a really random fucking anecdote, and then I'm gonna tell you my decision. So I had a student who said Genty should definitely win the Heisman. This is a soccer player. So I'm like, okay, why? Well, he's carried his team to the playoffs. I think it's a great argument. Said, yeah, and then he's probably going to set the single season rushing record. But he's no Barry Sanders. And the student goes, who's Barry Sanders? So I showed the rest of the class. I spent 15 minutes just showing Barry Sanders highlights, and then he was duly impressed and everything.
As a Cowboy or as an Okie?
The point here is that Genty is a really good player, but he might break the rushing record against SMU in this game, or maybe. And what I'm hoping for is that he doesn't even break the rushing record because they shut him down and they managed to win. And that's in terms of styles, SMU pulls it off. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but I wanted to, so I'm going to pick SMU.
All right, SMU moves on. I want SMU to win hands on because I don't think Genty should win the Heisman. I think he should win the best running back award.
He is the best running back.
I think it's bullshit that the kid from San Jose State didn't win the best receiver award, and they gave the Blitnikoff to Hunter.
Yeah,
I love Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter should be the Heisman. Okay, hear me out. He should be the Heisman, the best player. He's the best college football player in the country. College
Right.
football player. He plays two sides of the ball. He's top 10 on both sides.
Right.
He's not the best receiver. He's
He
not
is
the best.
not top 10 on both sides. I refuted that on Sunday.
He is top 10.
No.
Yeah.
That's the offensive side. No.
Okay,
No.
maybe not statistic wise, but he's top 10 position wise. As a wide receiver and as a cornerback, he's top 10.
Okay, fine.
Now,
All right.
he's not the best DB. He's
No.
not the best. He's not the best receiver. So he
Yes.
shouldn't win those awards. But is he the best college football player? Yes.
Yeah.
Roundabout.
So Gentry, great running back. I think that's all they have, and I hope SMU wins. But I'm gonna take. I will go with that. But real quick, I think Hunter should win the Heisman.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I also think it's bullshit. Real quick, another diatribe. Shedeur Sanders should be there over fucking Dylan Gabriel. Sorry. Look at the stats. Without Shedeur Sanders, that team maybe wins 5 games. And look at the stats. That's all I'm saying.
But it's one of those things where if you sent both Shedeur and Travis to win to the Heisman,
I get it. I
then
know.
they won't vote for one over the other. They'll split.
All right, Rob, just real quick question. Out of any quarterback that you saw play college football this year, who do you want as your starting quarterback for your NFL franchise?
I mean, low key, Cam Ward, but yeah, Shedeur Sanders is a really, really, really good
Shedeur
quarterback.
Sanders is going to be a hell of a New York Giant, and I might have to switch to being a Giant fan. Next game, here we go.
But the Giants are going to ruin him because that's what they do with quarterbacks.
Oregon versus Clemson.
Oregon versus Clemson. Now, guys, Cinderella has had her slipper on for 2 rounds now. The slipper comes off here, guys. Oregon wins this game.
Has to, right?
Has to. And the only
Has to.
reason, I can't tell you why, like, schematically or any other bullshit. It's just the slipper has to come off.
It's more that as good as Clemson has played, I have not seen them demonstrably show that they have learned from getting smacked at the beginning of the year.
And I think this is a team that can smack them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The other two teams, because Texas is on the downslide, and I just don't think Arizona State has the talent right now, that they can't be the ones to smack them like Georgia did. And Georgia's not even doing great. Oregon is actually at the top of their game for all intents and purposes. They're in a perfect position to smack Clemson.
I think I'm going to have to go to Oregon. And
I agree.
that's just what it's going to have to be. I think that, again, Dylan Gabriel might be the best college quarterback. He's not going to be an NFL quarterback. He's a very good college quarterback. They have unbelievable weapons. Their defense is great. James, the running back, is fantastic. The running games are unbelievable. Their 2 wide receivers are unbelievable. Like, they're a great team. And I think that they just smack Clemson around and Oregon wins.
I don't see Oregon. I mean, it might be closer than it should be, but I don't think Oregon.
Rob, now Clemson getting that far, does that prove something to the ACC? Like,
If the ACC has 2 teams in the semifinal, every other besides obviously the 2 teams that are going to the final, everybody else can suck it. If Clemson
if
and
ours
SMU make it to the semifinal,
it would be a Big 12 school in the Big 10. It would be Notre Dame, and it would be 2 ACC schools. So actually, almost 3 ACC schools.
Yeah, it'd be basically 3 ACC schools. So yes, that would say a whole lot.
All right, Tyler, we picked Oregon.
That's plenty. But having one team make to the semifinal would say a whole lot. Having 2, again, all we do
I'm
in
always
these things.
You guys know me. I'm an SEC rider. They're top of they're just not there this year. I don't think the top of the SEC is just not as SEC good as they usually are.
They've been exposed, I guess, is the point. With the SEC being the way that they are, they've been wildly exposed.
How have they
Whereas
been
the
exposed? There's just a lot more parity, and like their depth has dropped. Like their depth of all their teams have dropped.
Yeah, 100%. But also just when Clemson loses, it's because they got blown out by Georgia, but also that's because it's the ACC and weird shit happens in the ACC. it doesn't necessarily expose what they're bad at. Like even losing to Louisville was like blocked field goals and you know what I mean, just like weird ass shit
Yeah,
happened.
weird things. The only weird things that happen in the SEC are in Auburn.
Yes.
I disagree because that whole fucking SEC freaked out when Indiana bought out their game against Louisville for fucking Western Illinois.
Yeah, that is kind of bullshit, though.
So, like, I don't get why
Indiana bought their game out. Indiana didn't want to play Louisville because they saw their schedule. Like, we can win 11 games this year if we don't play Louisville, and they bought their game out. And then they played like.
And that event single-handedly triggered the SEC to freak out about their non-conference.
Well, it is kind of bullshit. Like to their credit, it is bullshit. You can buy out a game.
It's like the SEC hadn't done that before. That's bullshit.
Well, the SEC is just smart, and they only play 8 conference games, and then they schedule 1 tough game and a couple cupcakes. That's just smart.
And they're all like, "Oh my God, Wisconsin, a 5-7 team is all like super hard."
But when Alabama scheduled that game, Wisconsin wasn't as bad.
They beat them best in the last decade. That's bullshit.
Whatever. I give credit to like A&M. A&M played Notre Dame. I give credit to Texas. Texas usually schedules pretty tough. They scheduled Michigan. That's not their fault. Michigan sucked.
If you guys didn't win against A&M, you know your ass in fucking Texas wouldn't be in this fucking playoff.
All right, let's go to the next semifinal. SMU, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is perfectly set up to defeat SMU.
Yeah, they will take Jennings right out of his game. And if this is the real matchup, we're walking into the national championship game.
Yeah, 100%.
Tyler.
Well, here's the thing. If you're getting past Georgia as easily as you say, it doesn't matter who you play on the
I
other
don't think
side.
it's gonna be easy. I just think that you know what I mean. I don't think it's gonna be easy. I just think
I'm just saying, like you're not losing to Penn State.
you're not losing to SMU. Yeah,
you're not losing to SMU, and you're not losing to Boise State. I'm sorry. I mean, okay, yeah, I guess they can run the ball. That was like the big kryptonite, right, for Illinois. Like, but come on, Northern Illinois was a surprise.
it was a
Nobody's
letdown
going to be
because
surprised when
everybody was
Jimmy
so
gets
high-
the ball. 50
Everybody was
times.
so high of coming off of beating an SEC team that was supposed to be real. They were a good team. They were 8-4 this year. A good SEC team at home. They were coming off of that high.
I'm just saying that no one's going to be surprised by Genti getting the ball 50 times. You know,
Right.
so that's all. If you can't be ready for that, then you can't be ready.
And now that Malachi Nelson is out of there, it's a high likelihood.
So we're gonna have Notre Dame move on to play Oregon.
I don't like it, but yeah, I'll vote for it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here we go. National championship. We have number 1 Oregon versus number 7 Notre Dame. Who do we got?
I have to back my OG pick from the fucking spreadsheet of Oregon. So have at it.
Rob?
Oh, go first, Johnny. Come on, make it hard for me.
Well, I'm not. No, I'm not going to. I'm not allowed to be happy. We all know this. My teams don't win. This is where the run ends. Great run. We're going to lose to the best team in the country, and I think we had a hell of a run. I'm going to root for him. I hope I'm wrong. But if I'm going to if I'm going to put on my non-biased hat, we're going to put my non-biased hat on. It's 100% Oregon wins this game in probably a very awesome game. Like I think this is like a 38-31 game, high scoring not because the defenses are bad. It's just because the offenses are playing good against their defenses. I just think it's a great game, but I have Oregon winning. This is not a shtick. It's just I'm not allowed to win championships. I'm allowed to get close. The Mets, the Rangers, the Jets went to 2 back-to-back AFC championships. Haven't made the playoffs. I'm not allowed to win games, so I'm not allowed to win national championships.
Have a fresh season with one, so you can't say that shit.
No, it doesn't matter. We'll still lose in the NC. We'll still lose. I'm not allowed to have nice things. I'm not allowed to have like the best things.
At
So,
least your
Notre
club
Dame-
is willing to fucking spend beyond the luxury tax.
It doesn't matter. I'm still not Tyler. I'm still not allowed to have nice things. So I think Oregon beats Notre Dame.
Dude, I drink a lot of high noon, Joe.
So, yeah, you did, bro. So, yeah, I'm going to.
I just don't see a way that Notre Dame can beat them. I think that I guess if we can control the ball, but like they're good at running the ball. Like, it's just
difficult bit is like you're gonna have to play 4 complete quarters against Oregon.
yeah. And I think they just have the better weapons on the outside on offense that can make a play or two that'll beat them. That's really what it is.
What I think it comes down to for me is that Oregon is the more complete team. I
Yeah.
think they're the most complete team in football. And I don't think that Notre Dame has star power to break through that.
We
if
have
that makes any
we have
sense.
Leonard and Love on offense, and we have nobody on the outside that can like.
Right.
The
So
receivers
make
are
them
our
keep them
receivers. Our receivers are very good. They're not the guys on Oregon.
They're
Right.
award winning though. So that's
But that's what I'm saying is that that's what it comes down to for me is that, again, Leonard would have to light it up in order to beat Oregon. And I don't see that happening because they're going to pack it in and they're going to say, beat us on the outside. And Leonard himself, I don't think is capable of doing that.
And I don't think it's just
Ward
him.
would
I think his receivers wouldn't get separation on the Oregon's DBs either.
Probably not. But I again, you put Cam Ward in that situation, I think that he would make it doable, but not enough to necessarily win, but to make it like legitimately, you gotta actually honor those deep passes, those outside passes, that sort of thing. I just don't think Leonard has that repertoire.
So are you guys happy with Oregon over Notre Dame? I think that's a pretty. I mean, we have a couple of big upsets, but I think I don't think we're crazy.
Notre Dame
that's
deserves that, but like Oregon's the best team.
What we basically picked here is a bunch of teams that we would be happy to see get to that spot.
And I can see, like, with that path, the only other path I can see, so from the top left, I can obviously see Ohio State making a run. From the bottom right, I guess the chalk would be Penn State. The top right, Georgia could, and then the Texas maybe can make it, but like, I still think Oregon wins in the semis. And then I think the Notre Dame Georgia winner wins on that side. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I don't think we're that far off.
I agree. Would love to see Scatterbo put down.
I think no matter what, Oregon comes out of the left side, and then either Georgia or Notre Dame comes out of the right side. No matter what happens, the other games,
But that's like I think SMU just raises a lot of eyebrows when it games. Tell that.
All right, guys, that's our college football playoff predictor. Real quick before we go, Bill Belichick, coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, who are now going to have a $20 million roster every year for the next 5 years. Rob, I think the ACC is very undervalued, and I think this really helps out the ACC.
100%. So while again, as a Miami fan, I'm not allowed to have nice things because I didn't get to root for Miami until after 2002, 2003.
Some say you're the problem. Some say you're the problem.
Yeah, some could say that.
Not me, just people.
You know what it is? It's really funny because I watched the 2003 national championship game.
And you rooted for Ohio State, didn't you?
I started the game rooting for Ohio State, and by the time they threw that flag, I was like, no, come on.
The worst flag in the history of college. That flag
that converted me to a Miami fan.
That flag has taken down the entire dynasty.
But what's crazy is that converted me to a Miami fan. So I was much more open to going there 3 years later, right? 3 years later, I actually applied to college and I got into Miami. I actually was like told they're a good academic school, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, you know what? if I came in thinking that they were still the team to be kind of the big dog, I probably wouldn't have wanted to go there. But because of that flag, I said, you know what? They got screwed. I can't feel bad. I can't feel like, oh, I'm rooting for Notre Dame, for example. No, whatever. They were also pretty bad at the time. But Alabama or whoever. So
At that time,
that flag literally converted me to being my
Oklahoma. That time was Oklahoma and Florida State were the best teams. Probably.
USC, Florida,
USC.
USC, all of them.
Those Jason White's Oklahoma teams.
Yeah, but they never won. So they were never like, again, it was that Alabama, like the dawn of the Crimson Tide. And so it was like, okay, cool. But regardless, because I also went through the Tebow years while playing against them in Miami. That flag literally converted me. So we can't have nice things. But
at least your teams aren't cursed like mine.
All right, we'll have a whole Nebraska podcast, bud. Don't worry about it.
Nah, don't worry.
We like rooting for cursed teams. I mean, that's what gives us that scrappy underdog feel for this entire podcast.
Now, I got a question. With the Belichick coming, who is your
This is a good thing for the ACC.
Do you guys
It's
have
a great
Are you guys going to have a quarterback next year?
So
they tried to get mine.
So the short answer is we're going to have a quarterback next year. Is it going to be someone who's a game breaker like Cam Ward? No, I don't think so.
They threw $5 million at mine.
Well, but so here's the deal. A quarterback in and of itself is obviously really important. You got to have that, but you also need to figure out what the fuck we're doing on defense, and we don't have that right now.
Do you have,
so it's kind of irrelevant.
Coming in? Like, I know you guys are a pretty good class.
Yeah, but we don't have any quarterbacks that I'm aware of that are like top tier. But we have a decent class.
Because when Belichick comes in, their defense is going to be unbelievable.
For sure.
They're not going to focus on development at all. They're just going to pluck from the portal every fucking year.
Well, but so here's the thing that's going to happen with Belichick is that he is going to get very frustrated very quickly with the guys who don't get with his program. And then he's going to have to either get over it or he's going to have to be Saban 2.0 and figure out how to continue to bring in guys who are willing to play for him, even as the list of guys that he drives away for being a fucking douchebag to them grows. You know what I mean?
I think
Saban, it wasn't as much of a problem.
I know who I think he's going to get a lot of? Ex-NFL players, even if they played for him or not. Ex-NFL players' kids. I think that they're all their dads are going to be like, you're going to go play for him because he's the best ever. Right. And he'll get you NFL ready.
Trying to make a transfer happen.
I think he's going to have all the NFL kids. I really do. I think that's going to.
But I don't know if that's necessarily good because those kids aren't necessarily Shedeur Sanders being the exception.
No, I don't think they're all great, but I think like they'll get a decent pipeline. They'll get like one or two studs out of that.
Yeah. So I don't think that North Carolina is going to be beating Clemson every year good right out the gate. But I think that if the experiment works long enough, it's a big splash hire that helps out the ACC as a whole to kind of put us on the map. And
it puts more money in the ACC. Like I know it's going right to North Carolina, but $20 million for your NIL, that like it forces you guys to spend more, and it forces FSU to spend more, and Clemson to spend more. You know what I mean?
Miami was going to spend whatever anyway.
Yeah, I know, but Clemson, even Virginia Tech, Virginia Tech, if they have to pump up $3 more million, you know what I mean? Like,
Louisville's going to have to.
They're not going to all go up that high, but like they're all going to have to put in a couple more million, which is good, I think.
I think it's great for the ACC as a whole. Do I think it's going to lead to North Carolina winning the ACC championship in the next year or two? No, but I think that it makes them more dangerous. If Duke hangs around because they keep Manny, that keeps them in the mix. Like everybody raises their level just a little bit. And again, if SMU and Clemson manage to fucking just pull off those two opening round upsets alone, we're going, y'all are already sleeping on the ACC, and we're only going to get better at pulling in recruits that actually help us. Not necessarily big name recruits.
And I got to say real quick, if you haven't noticed, FSU, they brought in Malzahn. Did you see who they got at quarterback?
Thomas Castellanos.
Yeah, Castellanos from Boise.
Yeah, they picked Castellanos,
from BC. So the ACC is going to be a little snake in the grass, I think, next year.
I think every non-conference game that plays, like all the other big schools playing ACC schools, they're going to have to watch their back.
FSU's gonna be something because they stole the whole Nebraska defensive staff and just took them.
Yeah, Nebraska's defensive staff. Then they got Malzahn's offense with a quarterback who was very impressive this year.
Norvell retooled, and it's gonna be something of note.
So I think I know we're in college football, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about what else is going on in the college football. A couple guys in the transfer. Watch out, Miami might go after. I don't know if that's their guy. The kid Malik from Duke is in the portal. John David or one of the Booties. I don't know which Booty it is. General Booty is in the transfer portal. General Booty's in the transfer portal right now. There's another quarterback that I'm missing. He was in the transfer portal as well. There's a couple guys in the portal right now that maybe they'd be interested in. I'm not sure.
We can see what's his face from Oklahoma's in the portal.
Jackson Arnold's in the portal.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure since Van Buren just entered the portal from Mississippi State, so I think Van Buren would be a great fit in Miami. And I think Jackson Arnold's probably going to go to Mississippi State to join Levy.
Probably. So here's what I'll say. If Miami can't figure out what the fuck we're doing on defense, and it's a schematic thing, like I said, it's a top-down coaching philosophy thing. And we can't get rid of our coordinator fast enough.
But I don't think it's a scheme, though.
I think it is. Well, here's what I'm saying. Not scheme, not pure strategy. More like you keep putting your guys into position and you did not set them up for success. And you're just like
teaching them how to tackle.
Teaching them how to tackle. Teaching them how to play a zone. You know what I mean? Like if we're getting toasted in man, but we actually look worse when we play zone like they don't know how to play zone. Like it's so systemic in terms of you're not even putting guys in the position where they feel like they can make a good play. You know, like it's bad. It's like if you're not on top of it getting that pick, you might as well just give it up and sell and let them
sad
score.
Because they did sell all out for Cam this year, and they technically they lost 3 games because they lost to Virginia Tech.
Like last 3 other than the Virginia Tech.
They should have. You would think that the defense wouldn't be that bad.
Well, and again, it's not because of talent; it's because of scheme.
And
we lost our Miami commit, by the way.
They didn't play complimentary football. Like Cam was awesome,
right?
But they would score so fast, and their defense would be right back up on the field,
right?
And any team that like Syracuse, worth a pulse, who has a pulse, they were 9-3. They're a good team,
yeah.
And they're going to go back and score because you guys just. You'll be up by 21, but then you'll have 3 or 4 straight 3 and outs because you just that's like 7 minutes of game time, not 27. Right. You know what I mean? Like
I know
no complimentary football.
Well, and so also, by the way, in case you didn't know, the reason why I've been really depressed, it's not because of this season, it's because we had a flip from Miami to Oregon, so now he's going to go be great. And I'm my student.
Tell him not to.
You're gonna tell this kid not to turn down playing for Dan Lanning and the soon-to-be national championship team.
I'm not saying this because it's legal, but fail the kid. Tell him
he's not in my class.
Oh.
He avoided me for weeks afterwards because he knew I was going to be upset. And I was like, I'm not upset. You need to go be great. If he went to Miami and was mid because they haven't changed the fucking scheme or coordinator or whatever, then what was the fucking point?
Where
right?
Does he play?
Middle linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
He could be Jonathan Vilma or Beeson.
They don't run that kind of defense now. That's what I'm saying. They're not running the traditional 4-3.
So what is he, like 6'2", 225?
Roughly.
Is he built like a safety? Is he built just like a safety?
No, he is built like a traditional linebacker, but we're not running that scheme at Miami. That's what he was like, I can't do this. And
what are they running at Miami now? They're running a 4-2-5?
basically they're running a 4-2-5, rolling into more of a 3-4 at this point because they have one of the defensive ends stand up. So it's not conducive for him.
Your guys and more than
Yeah. So what he was saying, and I have seen this, Oregon runs almost like a 50 front, like a 5-2.
They run like a bear front.
Closer, like the closest thing. Obviously, they have hybrid guys, but instead of hybrid safety linebackers, it's like they're hybrid DNs.
But they also drop back. The DNs that drop back. Yeah. And
so
they're
that's
all
why
they're all the same size. Like they're all 6'3", 260, but they can get up and down, side to side, back. Yeah.
Right. And he can play like a traditional linebacker position. So he's going to go be great, and it's going to be awesome. But I'm more like the coordinator fucked it up so badly, not even in terms of talking to him or anything like that, so much as the scheme he is running makes no sense.
And that's what
hyper aggressive, blitz every down is not good football. Like you said, not good complementary football. And the guys don't even run it well.
You blitz every down and you don't get there, guess what? A big play happens.
And then you give it to your big play offense, and then you go right back to your defense who's still reeling from the big play they gave up. Yeah, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not
on the head coach, though.
A little bit, but it's like he didn't set up a defense that would allow, because again, he had all of spring. He knew that the guys they had are not like like we're getting constantly burned by people. Like, play a bend don't break defense. That's not a hard concept.
Just sit back and cover two.
Sit back and do a cover two shell
and play defense. And cover two. Play defense when they get from the 30 and in. Then the field shrinks. Then you can play. You can do your special packages.
Right. I hate to say this, but Blake Baker would have been a better fit for this season because that's the kind of defense he plays. And so it's not that the problem with Blake Baker always has been once people figure that out and they figure out how to beat it, like with a running quarterback, then he falls apart and he can't, change anything about it. But just that.
His ass can't have a QB spot when it's needed. That's stupid.
But real quick, do we want to talk playoff snubs? Do you guys think anybody was snubbed from the playoff? Do you think Alabama deserved to be in, or did the committee get it right?
So
we haven't talked about. We haven't been on a couple weeks.
Penn State does not deserve to be a number 16.
I agree. That's fucking stupid.
No fucking way does Penn State deserve to be a number 6. I get that Clemson, is a 3-loss team, and I get that, but they're an ACC champion and they're a 12 seed. Like, what the fuck are we doing in putting Penn State at 6 so that they can play SMU and Boise State? Is obnoxious.
Maybe they could be the 11 seed, but like,
I'm saying Penn State should be a 12 seed.
Penn State. I just can't listen. We can't say anything now because you want to know what? They're going to lose. And then when they do, we're just going to run our mouths.
At least I can run my mouth just fine because I told you State ain't going to get off a bus and SMU's going to play 4 quarters of football. It's simple.
The seeding, though, is like mind-boggling. That's the part. You put Penn State above Ohio State and Tennessee. You put Penn State above like way too many fucking teams. Above Notre Dame. Like,
and
how is Penn State ranked above anybody else except maybe SMU?
The Notre Dame game, they're like, we should have Notre Dame because we went to the Big Ten championship, and you got your ass kicked. And every time you go up in competition and play a team that's better or as good as you get your ass kicked. Like, you don't ever win.
Well, it's more that Notre Dame and Penn State have a common opponent. Penn State needed overtime to beat USC.
At home.
At home, too, yeah.
No, they were playing in USC.
No, they were in USC. They were in USC.
But they needed overtime to beat the same team that Notre Dame beat by how much?
17.
But that wasn't good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. Now, I will say that, what was it? That Alabama being ranked higher outside of the whatever was kind of stupid, but whatever. It is what it is.
So I think that they should. I think I think that once they get the 12 in, they should just rank them 1 through 12, like rank the teams individually.
Yeah.
And the top 4 get a bye. It doesn't matter what.
I think it's like they should play the first round and then re-rank them in the second.
I like the re-ranking. That's fine. I'm just saying more in general. Like in order to give Penn State the exact lineup that they needed to get, they needed to rank them at 6th. Like that's absurd. That's the only part of that that's absurd. They should be a number 11 seed, 10 at most.
I think it's bullshit for both Oregon and Ohio State and even Tennessee, who was like those 3 teams are 3 teams that could go on a national title run easily. Like, and 2 of them
would have bumped everybody up one.
And 2 of them beat Penn State.
Yeah, so it would have bumped everybody up to the point where, say, Notre Dame was the 6th seed, right? That changes things. Like if we just put Penn State at, we'll say, even at number 11 instead of SMU, that still bumps up Notre Dame to 6, right?
Yeah.
That still bumps up Ohio State to 7, Tennessee to 8. You know what I mean? Like,
that means
would be 9? Indiana would be 9.
That means Tennessee gets a home game they probably should have
against Indiana. Yeah, against Indiana, right? And Ohio, and the winner of that game, probably Tennessee plays Oregon, and then Ohio State plays against it would be the 10 seed of SMU, right? To then play Georgia. All of a sudden, the bracket that we did seems to make more sense, and it was all because
that means Notre Dame would have been the 6th seed. They would have played.
They would have played Penn State. and then played Boise.
That would have been good for TV.
But it makes no sense otherwise.
It also would have been the prime time game.
Now, who would the 5 seed have been? The 5 seed would still have been
still Texas. Yeah, we still keep Texas. I'm saying even if all you do is drop Penn State to 11, because that's probably where they should be, but move everybody else up. Okay, Clemson's still playing Texas. That's still a huge slight to the ACC that the ACC champ is playing as a 12 seed and playing Texas. But even outside of that, let's take my ACC bias out.
I kind of like that. We would get Penn State.
It just would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But it's because they wanted to fucking suck Penn State's dick over and over again.
Because they have the best 2 losses. Like,
they do this every year, though. Penn State never proves anything and always gets an incredible.
They have the best 2 losses every year when they lose to Michigan and Ohio State every year.
Notre Dame gets a lot of free passes because they're Notre Dame. Fine, fair enough. But nobody can tell me that they get more of a free pass than Penn State.
No.
Because every fucking
and everybody keeps talking about our strength of schedule. Okay. Louisville beat Clemson, right? We blew Louisville out. Georgia Tech took Georgia to 7 overtimes.
And beat Miami.
We blew that out. Notre Dame blew out Texas A&M. Notre Dame blew out Army, who just blew out Tulane, who was now their Army won a fucking conference title. Like, our games, they're not the best, but like they're good. If you put those teams up against a couple, like they'll knock them off. They're good. They're not great teams. Navy wasn't great. Boston College wasn't that, but like they're all like top 40 wins. None of them were top 10, but they were all top 40. Every single team we played was top 40, except for Florida State.
Which should have been.
Should have been.
As it should, yeah.
But, I mean, Army, I'm sorry, but if Army plays SMU, Boise State, Clemson might beat them, but it's going to be a lot closer than what Notre Dame won by 35 points.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm like I said, I'm not even talking about this year in particular. I'm just saying in general, people like to give Notre Dame a lot of crap because they get to pick their own schedule and they're not in. They need to join the ACC, in my opinion, but that's not related to Penn State is always given an unbelievable amount of passes.
They made this playoff so Penn State can make the playoff because they could never get by Michigan. And
I hate to say it, I'm a Big Ten homer, and I hate the fact that Penn State is so propped up.
That's what I'm saying. Penn State's that team. Like it used to be, I thought it used to be Michigan, but Michigan won it, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, they were not good this year, fair enough, but like they won it, right? It's just like Florida State. This is the best year for Florida State to be absolute dog shit, but in general, Florida State's made their point. Penn State hasn't made their point ever, and they're always in it. Like, what are we doing?
Like, yeah, I'm a Big Ten supporter here, and I hate
I'm just trying to figure out like the last time Penn State wasn't given a giant pass in a particular season, or were somehow screwed out of a chance to do something when they had earned it. That's like never happened.
No.
You could argue the 2018 season when they were fighting for the 4 seed but lost to Ohio State in an atypical fashion. They're all like, "Oh,
You shouldn't
my
lose that
God."
game. Listen, guys, let's wrap up this week. We'll
Wait,
all do a pick. We all gotta do our pick for this week.
Yeah.
You see it on my screen. Go Army,
Rogue,
beat Navy. Anchors down.
Rogue. I just love Rogue fucking TA.
I support the ROTC because Tech has the school that if they dismantle the Department of Education, they gotta keep going. So Army all day.
Rob, who you got? Army, Navy.
Army.
All right, we're all Army here. Jason.
I'm trying to figure out how we can steal Army's fucking head coach somehow and get him to Miami. It's not going to happen. There's no way for us to do it. But like, oh my God.
And real quick,
they beat Tulane without. Did you know the stat? They beat Tulane with no turnovers, no penalties, and no punts.
Yep. I watched it. It was impressive.
But that stat in and of itself, it's like, where can I bring this man to get him onto my school team, a team renowned for having no discipline, right? Like, oh my God.
Let's real quick. We will come back after next week. We'll pick the first playoff games, which will be next week. Merry Christmas to everybody. Well, we'll see you before that. And then we will. I think we should we'll do like a bowl pick after. We'll pick all the bowl games after this week. We'll pick every single bowl game. We'll hop on. I think the first bowl game was next Wednesday?
Technically, the first bowl games are tomorrow.
Tomorrow. There's one at noon and there's one at 9.
Who's playing tomorrow?
Jackson State and South Carolina State in Mercedes-Benz.
Celebration Bowl, right?
Yeah, but it's in Mercedes-Benz. And then South Alabama versus Western Michigan.
I'm taking South. Okay, I got South Alabama and I got Jackson State, just so we're clear.
I'm going Jacksonville State.
It's Jackson, my guy.
So we'll come on. I'll talk to the boys. We'll do a bowl. We'll pick all the bowls next week. But go Army, beat Navy, and then we'll come on. We'll pick all the games. And I don't know if Rob hasn't been following me, but Rob, we've been live betting, and ask Tyler how we've been doing.
Oh, it's got to be great.
We've been parlaying the shit out of teams and netting some money.
I won. Okay, I had a parlay plus 1446. I picked every single conference champion. The 4 big ones. I picked Arizona State, Clemson, Georgia.
Talk about the parlay that we had. Because him and I had the same parlay. The only differentiating factor was I picked SMU.
And I hit big on that one.
TA, didn't you cash out on that one, or were you not allowed to?
I'm not allowed to. I'm not that fucking.
I wrote it the whole way, everyone. But we'll be gambling. Now we're going to be. We'll discuss what we'll be doing in the off season soon. It's not the off season yet, but
the bowl games start December 17th, so we'll have to try and do a Monday show.
I can do a Monday show.
That's not out the realm of.
All right, so come join us on Monday. We'll do all the picks. We'll talk after this, guys. What we'll be doing. Listen, as always, we're gonna do one thing. We keep it spiked. Drink.